Hello and welcome to another episode of Behind the GM's Eyes. Last night we had one of the more interesting trade deadline in a while, and I immediately made a video about winners and losers from such deadline. But I raved about the Jets in this video and I love the compensation. And it just kept me not to fall asleep, just thinking how much I would actually love this job, man. So Jets, if you are watching, here I am. This is the only job I would probably quit what I currently do. So if you are watching, listening, here I am. Now, I love the situation apart from one thing, and that's the ownership. So I just eliminated myself from the job interview that had 0.0001% chance already. Now, let's talk ball, shall we? Now, why I do love this situation, why I did love trades. Okay, so let's talk the broad picture. When last night trades happened, it clearly signaled one thing. Jets are in absolute rebuild. And the first thing that you need to do in the rebuild is to get your future franchise QB. And to allow him to succeed, to give him the best potential cast around him to succeed. And last night's trades have done a remarkable job in doing so, because this reminds me really a lot of Panthers last year. You just took your great defensive assets and you made them your assets in terms of picks, and you should absolutely make them your offensive assets. And next season, to me, is going to be about whoever you will choose as your QB of the future and his development. So I don't give a crap about the defense for next year. So every resources that you have should be invested in the offense. And in trading Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams for such nice prices in terms of draft capital, you absolutely allowed yourself to do it. And in that, you also kind of made sure that perhaps you will not get the one guy you absolutely want, because perhaps you will have a 5 pick and somebody ahead of you will just not badge and trade down. But with the ammunition that these guys have, there is no way in hell that they should not be able to pick out of the 2 that you really want. So you just ensured you will get your guy. Now, before we get into the roster and how I feel is actually very nicely prepared for a young QB, I will want to address the situation of Aaron Glenn, because I'm talking about GM position, not the coaching one. I don't want to be head coach. I'm not good at it. I think I would be a good GM. Now, Aaron Glenn, I have nothing against him personally. I thought that he was a very good hire for the Jets for what this team needed. But when he was hired, to today, I think the situation changed. So he was hired to rebuild the culture and to make this defense great again, because 2 years ago, this was one of the best defenses in the league. And in doing so, have a run-first offense with mobile QB like Justin Fields, nice elite weapon Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and be kind of a frisky team. Not necessarily a playoff team, but definitely a frisky one. That did not happen. Justin Fields absolutely failed. The offense is atrocious, and defense, even with Sauce and Quinnen Williams, was not, I would say, even top 10. So when that's the situation, I think he kind of failed to deliver on one of the 2 major assumptions that I'm hiring him. And in doing so, he allowed this fire sale to be able to be executed, because this team is going obviously nowhere this year in terms of playoffs. And when this happens, I think the objective for this team and the future plan absolutely changes, because now it's not about establishing one of the best defenses, because you just deprive yourself of your 2 best talents. Now it's about quarterback of the future and offense. And with Aaron Glenn, I don't think he's a premium defensive mind. I think he's in tier 2. So it's not like he has the upside of Mike Mack, D'Amico Ryans, and guys like that. And now I think his positives are not necessarily in line with what this team should be all about. So even though I don't think he necessarily disappointed, yeah, the win-loss record is not good, but I don't think that this team is playing soft or that this is some kind of atrocious job. I believe it should be one and done. Not because Aaron Glenn was a bad hire, not because he's not necessarily a horrendous job, but because the objectives and the future for this team change. And like I said in several videos, I would just hate when rookie QBs that you highly invest have a new head coach year 2. And I definitely would believe that that's something that would be really written on the wall. So my idea would be rip off the bandage right now. And actually, when I look at this position from the offensive coordinators like Joe Brady, like Clint Kubiak, I'm actually intrigued. And here is why. So Justin Fields, yeah, they have Justin Fields right now, but they are not committed to him. Okay, so for next year, Justin Fields, you can cut him and save how much? 11 millions. Not bad. You know, if you straight up cut him, you save 1 million. You can schedule post-1 release. But at the end of the day, Justin Fields, unless he absolutely balls out in the rest of the year, you are getting rid of him, whether it's through trade, whether it's through just cutting him. Like, you are in no words committed to Justin Fields. It's not the situation with like Miami and Tua, where like the dead cap is much more massive. It's not the situation of Kyler Murray and Cardinals, where that cap is much more massive. Like, you are absolutely not committed to Justin Fields. Yeah, I think if I'm Aaron Glenn or whoever would be an interim, if that's the bandage we have to rip right now, it'd be like, okay, let's play Justin. And if Justin is like, okay, if let's say 99.7 percentile is the performance he has for the rest of the league, okay, well enough, let's run with him. But most likely, it's over for Justin with the Jets. And the projection is you will have like top 5, top 7 pick plus assets. So you should really be able to get whoever your guy for the future is. So position of QB, I don't think you are committed. And you have an absolutely nice spot for a rookie, whether it's let's play Justin Fields next year, give a rookie 6 games to learn. Like, everything is possible. Like, you are nowhere committed, but you are also in like semi-good position to just move forward with your room. Now, running backs. We will get to Breece Hall and that whole thing after other positions. Because when I'm looking for how to set up my rookie QB, so I want to give him offensive-minded head coach that will be with him for a long run. So I want him to choose his guy, and I want him to be there from the beginning. Hence why I would move from Aaron Glenn. And I feel like there are, at least in like Joe Brady and Clint Kubiak, at least 2 very interesting offensive-minded candidates to look forward. Now, so the head coach, unfortunately, I would be like in a situation to necessarily part way with Aaron Glenn and move for one of these guys, hopefully. Now, apart from head coach, offensive-minded, I want offensive line and special tackles. So let's take a look at that situation, right? So we have Armand Bamboo, who's been rock solid this year. He's been damn good. Like, in the first game, he goes against TJ Watt and he just wins the matchup. Like, how much of a start you want? So Armand Bamboo, and on the other tackle you have Olu Fashanu. I was critical of them drafting Olu Fashanu, but not necessarily because of the value of the talent. It was because I felt like they were all in last year, and when you move all in, I think you should have gone with Brock Bowers. At this point, I probably still much more like to have Brock Bowers over Fashanu. That does not mean he is not a franchise tackle. So I should really have young and already good franchise tackles. I think that duo is like already 20th best in the league. That's freaking great, given that I have 4 and 5 years of chip control for these guys. Amazing. And the situation in the interior is not amazing, but it's still great. So Elijah Vera Tucker, I think, given injuries, his market is a little bit, how to put it, like less money, less money oriented that perhaps he would like to, because like he's been injury prone, but whenever he played, he was played safe, top 15, top 20 guard, and he's still 26. He is a first round drafted player, so like there's everything you want apart from injuries. But that's kind of an advantage for the Jets, because I feel like they could come to an agreement that would be like around 3 years, 50 to 60 millions for Elijah Vera Tucker, which gives them an absolute start of guard, obviously with the injury concerns, for your rookie quarterback. It gives you super high upside, I would say, for this offensive line, because we get to the rest of the guys. And for Elijah Vera Tucker, like with your injury concerns, like you are securing the back, And you are still just 29 when you come out of that contract. So if you outplay it, if you are still good in 29, if you are not injury depleted, you will get another monster contract. So it's kind of win-win in my eyes. And it doesn't end there. Like Josh Myers was a 1 year rental, pretty solid, like 6th man of the year for the Jets, like not for the whole league, but he was solid. But Joe Tippmann, I really like as a center. We have another 1 year of cheap control, and like given how much the centers are getting paid, and Joe Tippmann doesn't necessarily have like the first round pedigree, though like second round for a center, it's definitely a big one. I think we are absolutely able to secure him if we want to for long term. And for the next guard, John Simpson, playing good. Do we go for him? Do we draft? No matter what, this offensive line, if I look at this as a potential head coach, offensive coordinator, I love this. And as a rookie QB, that's very, very nice. Like, just secure Elijah Vera Tucker, which I think should be absolutely possible. And you have your 3 cornerstones, and with Joe Tippmann 4, locked for 4 more years, and Joe Tippmann for 1. So I love this situation. So offensive line, tackles, I think that's absolutely nice for the Jets. Yeah, I mean, they are not necessarily playing to the highest of standards, but it's like Elijah Vera Tucker is injured, and Justin Fields is one of the most frustrating QB to play offensive line for, because he holds the ball for so damn long. Now, apart from offensive line, what do you want? Well, number 1, weapon. Okay, there's this guy called Garrett Wilson. Have you heard about him? I believe you did. So yeah, we have that. Great, really nice. And with Adonai Mitchell, I think this team actually got a potential number 2. That's a really nice dart throw. Again, behind those guys, there's really not much to talk about, but you have a lot of ammunition. So if you need another wide receivers, you definitely can draft them. And that's like one more thing that I wanted to talk about when I looked at this offensively. You are absolutely not committed to any style of quarterback, any style of offensive schemes, because you have great offensive line that's not like predominantly good in run blocking and shit in pass protection. It's like balanced and good with potential to be great. You have your number 1 wide receiver, but not necessarily, it is not Bengals where you have Jamar Chase, where you have Diggins, where you kind of are committed to be a pass ball first offense. It doesn't happen here. You also don't have like Baltimore situation when you have 3 tight ends, or Pittsburgh when you are like, okay, so we are 12 or 13 personnel. This is anything can be plugged in, but also for that anything, you have those building blocks that you want. Great offensive line, young, number 1 target, very interesting young tight end in Mason Taylor, who I really feel like is coming through this year. And now let's talk about running back. Situation with Breece Hall is interesting. There was a lot of talk that he absolutely wanted out, and I get it. But for me, if I would manage the Jets, I would sit down with Breece and absolutely just talk what his motivation is. Because if the motivation is money, now we are, I think, in the situation to be one of the teams that pays the most to him. Because we have the money, we will have a rookie quarterback for a couple of years, rookie tackles, we just got ties with 2 of the highest paid players in Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, so there's money. If the motivation is money, I don't think that is going to be easy to overpay, to overpay us. And if the motivation is to be successful, yeah, I don't think we can offer that in 2 years. But he's still 24, so, Breece, first year, yeah, it's going to be pain. Second year, I think we could be frisky. Third year, this should be where we aim to the playoffs and potentially higher. Do you want to be part of that? If not, okay, probably let him go for a compensatory pick. So I would love him there, but at the same time, with the ammunition we have, is there potential to draft the first round running back? There are talents close to Omarion Hampton level in this year's draft. Yeah. And why am I talking about running back? Why care? We saw Bill Krosky married from 7th round, James Catterbull 4th or 5th round. You can find starting running backs pretty much anywhere. Well, one thing, another that I want for my rookie QB is to be able to count on a run game. And for that, I think you have to have offensive line, which I think we absolutely have building blocks, but you want to have your feature running back to alleviate some of the pressure. Jackson Dart with Cam Catterbull, that was a really nice match. Without Cam Catterbull, you see it on Jackson Dart how much he misses him. And there is absolutely potential to spend it, whether it's money on Breece Hall or it's first or second round in next year's draft. And again, like this is kind of a dream if you are like me and you like rebuild and you want to like put the puzzle pieces all together for you to make sense. Obviously, like, it should make sense overall, but like for you to just make it in your vision, I don't think there are many obstacles if you are Jets, apart from the ownership. Sorry. But like this roster is actually very nicely built for that offensively. So I would really love this situation, to be at the helm, choosing or like promoting this team to potential head coach candidate. And now, okay, let's talk defense a little bit, because it's not like this defense is absolute shit show. Will McDonald emerging as like potentially solid number 2, Jermaine Johnson as well. So there is some talent. In terms of interior, like whatever you get from Mazi Smith, his house money, Harrison Phillips, solid. Like, yeah, it's bad defensive line, but again, we have ammunition to draft into this, and like compare this to the Panthers situation. That is what I like do a lot in my head last year, when it was like, okay, the whole year is about Bryce Young and like getting that huge investment that we made for him, like getting it worth. And their defense was an absolute shit show, and it still worked. Like you got Bryce Young to be, 20th best quarterback right now in the NFL, 24th, something like that. Definitely played higher last year. And it was okay with a bad defense. And this is not Carolina Panthers level of defense. You have great linebackers in Quincy Williams and Jamian Sherwood. The question is, will Quincy follow perhaps his brother? Like, we will see what this is going to look like. But Jamian Sherwood, I really like. In terms of secondary, okay, Brandon Stevens, I didn't like this contract, but can we get out of this one? Okay, so next year he's here. And truth to be told, like he's playing better than I expected. So okay, why not? Jarvis Bromley, yeah, it's not pretty secondary. It really isn't. Like, let's face it. But is this worse team or like worse defensive team that Panthers had last year? I don't necessarily think so. And again, you have a lot of ammunition. Where it's money, like let's just take a look how much they have in money for next year. So that would be cap in 2026. So yeah, that is over 100 billion cap space. So it's not like, again, you have to go for like high placed guys, because to me everything needs to be focused on that offense. But at the same time, like you can definitely bring at least 1 or 2 guys for like 30 to 45 millions combined to help the defense to not be bottom 5. I think that's absolutely reasonable. And then like the cap hit that you have after this year, because 2026, we all agree that's a rebuild year. Everything is all about, is our rookie QB into the NFL, make sure that he's okay with everything and that he has everything to succeed. So the fact that we have 71 million for that year is okay, because we have no dead cap or close to no dead cap for 2027. That's very nice. Like there are some prolonged contracts like Justin, Alan Lazard, Quincy, but that's pretty much it. So, I mean, financially, the situation is good. Talent is good. Draft picks are insane. Yeah, for someone like me who likes to rebuild things from the ground, and as well, like having a really nice building blocks, because Gary Wilson, Mason Taylor, Armand Mambu, Olu Fashanu, Jamian Sherwood, Will McDonald, Elijah Vera Tucker, hopefully, potentially Breece Hall. Like, I think there is a lot of nice building blocks for this team. Joe Tipman, I would love this job, man. I really would. And I just hope that Jets won't screw it up. So, what do you think? Should I get the job? Did I excited you about the potential of Jets' future? Let me know in the comments.